Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fourth episode of Just Lying Around, a Detroit Lions podcast presented by the World of Football. I'm one of your hosts, Kyle Sutherland, and I'm joined by my brother-in-law, Adam Snow. Adam, how
Yeah,
you
baby.
feeling?
How am I feeling? I'm feeling pretty
How you
good.
feeling?
Feeling pretty good, but I do feel bad because they just released the roster cuts a little bit ago, and so that's why the podcast a little late this week because we wanted to wait on the roster cuts. So those just came out, and it's always heartbreaking, it's the hardest part of the game every year is seeing those cuts and all those guys' dreams, kind of left right there. But it also means we're essentially at the beginning of real regular season football.
Oh, yeah. Yep, and we'll get into that shortly. And, regular football, it's finally here. Thank you.
Yes.
But on this week's episode, we're going to talk about the Lions' third preseason game. But again, the big news is the final cut day. We're going to go through that, see who we're surprised at, who got cut, who we're excited about making the team. And, that's probably going to be it for this episode.
We'll keep it nice and short.
Yep. And probably do another show before the first game against the Chiefs. So be on the lookout for that.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into all that fun stuff, I just want to thank you for checking out our podcast. You can find our show on the World of Football podcast feed, which is available on multiple platforms, including Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. You can also find our podcast on the World of Football YouTube channel. Simply search for the World of Football Kalamazoo. If you can go there, subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, let us know how we're doing, if we need to improve on something or how you like the show. Also, we're on Facebook at the World of Football Facebook.com/2 of Kalamazoo. And also on
you do this.
At,
you do this every week. It's just TWOF Kalamazoo. That's. I've been letting you do it. I've been letting you crash and burn, but I figured I better let you know. It's you just say the acronym TWOF Kalamazoo.
Okay, I will remember that. Thank you.
I hope so because you're still leading the show.
Yep. Also, you can use our timestamps in the description of this podcast if you want to jump around to the different topics we'll be discussing today. So let's begin this week's show. Right. Let's get into this third preseason game against the Carolina Panthers. I felt like it was not a repeat from last season. We had a final score of 26-17. And the game actually looked pretty fun. I was enjoying it. What do you think?
Were
Adam?
you though? Were you though? Because let me pull up a text message from that night where you definitely weren't enjoying it. At 8:27 p.m. The Lions game started at 8 o'clock Friday night. You sent me a text that said, "Well, I've seen enough. Gonna turn it off now." To which I reminded you do a podcast and you have to watch a little bit more than that. So I'm just saying that was a real thing that happened.
I don't recall ever sending that message, so it must have been someone else.
I don't know. That's your face on the text, but you can't read it because my screen's too bright. But yeah, it's there. Trust me. But anyway, look, I think they were going up against Bryce Young, which we weren't sure if he was going to play or not. And I thought he looked good. I thought going up against Bryce Young, he seemed like he might be a fun, talented quarterback this year. Kind of gave that second team defense, some good, interesting looks. And he drove the ball down the field a couple of times. But the big thing for me was that first drive, they kicked the field goal. The defense, they made a couple plays there. And I thought that was pretty great. They got a sack on him at one point. I wasn't a fan of the Adam Thielen touchdown though, but I also do love C.J. Gardner Johnson talking some smack from the sideline though. That was chef's kiss. That was pretty great.
Yeah, I feel like Thielen on that team's going to get a lot of looks from Bryce Young. So, and that
Yeah.
touchdown, of course, who was covering him? Your number one player, Adam. Who was that?
Was it Will Harris?
Uh, yeah, yeah, you're right. Yep, and he was had like 3 yards separation on him. It, uh, that will be
Oh,
inner topic number 2 on why we gotta keep it. I don't understand why.
but I mean, you got to hear in the notes. Look, none of the starters really played. There was a couple key guys, like I think Tracy Walker got some more action, which was nice to see him out there. Because as far as I'm concerned, is he still a starter technically, or is he a backup because of the injury?
I honestly think CJ is going to be the starting safety along with Joseph, and Tracy's going to back him up.
Okay, because I still think of Tracy as a starter. I mean, even though he's been hurt all last year, pretty much, I still think of him as a starter. He's going to be one of those rotational guys that get into the into that lineup. That's I like what they got going there in the secondary.
Yeah.
But the only other real starter they really had out there was rookie linebacker Jack Campbell, who continues to impress. I am digging this dude the more and more I see him play.
Yeah, that's when the actual first team defense gets out there with Jack Campbell, even Brian Branch gets out there with them. Like it's gonna be definitely a big improvement from last year. Like I don't know. It's gonna be a lot of interceptions, I think a lot of quarterback sacks, and I don't think defenses are gonna be our offensives are gonna be able to run on this defense.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm very excited the pieces they got there. I think and I'm very excited about this. You got this in the notes too, so I hate to steal your thunder, but the special teams, I'm digging what I'm seeing from special teams. I know again it's preseason, but of all the aspects of the game in the preseason, special teams and injuries are the two real things that I think come out of this, and the special teams just look pretty decent.
Yeah, except for a kicking situation, but
Well,
we'll get
again,
into
the real
that.
things that come out.
Yeah, the
But I
kickoff
mean, just
returns.
yeah, the kickoff returns, punt returns, all that stuff is still
Yeah,
very impressive.
yeah. I think the way they're going with this special teams, I think that coach is doing amazing stuff with them, and um, yeah, that's another fun piece to this team we're going to be looking forward to.
Yeah, and I like that they have had a few different guys returning and getting great returns. I think the blocking schemes have been working. There's a lot of great creases and edges, and if these guys with speeds hit those, I mean, we're looking at maybe getting the ball, 40-yard line on our side of the ball to the other team's side of the field, which will be great. Field position has always been a big problem for the Lions. They always tend to start on their end of the field, and if we can open up that return game, uh, that could do a world of hurt to opposing teams against this Lions team.
Oh yeah, yep. And you got Cleve Freeman. He's going to be returning kickoffs. I don't know about punt returns yet. We'll have to see what their route is with that. But yeah,
Yeah,
that'll be something to look forward to.
for sure.
But let's dive into the game here. Let's first half. Um, Offensive line, I felt did a lot better this week or during the game. Bridgewater had time to throw. He looked pretty good out there. Um, we also had Craig Reynolds in the backfield. He ran for 41 yards and a touchdown. And Antonio Green, the seventh round pick, he was on fire. He had 3 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown. Um, so that was impressive.
Yeah, I mean, of all that,
uh,
yeah, like you said, Bridgewater, I thought he looked a lot better from last week to this, past game. Obviously, as we said, the more he gets repetition wise with this offense, he'll be fine, and he'll be a good, capable backup. Uh, Craig Reynolds, that touchdown run, that the way he kind of cut that seam and was barely touched was, I thought, great. I loved that play. And what was it? It was like a 3rd and 5, and it was kind of like a passing situation. And it was like Carolina wasn't scheming up for that, and then Craig could just bounce up and cut through a very nice hole into the end zone there. I thought that was a great play.
Yep. And and that defense, we'll talk about that here in a second. But let's get into the second half here.
Yeah.
Nate Sutherland came in. He got hurt. Sounds like he tore his ACL.
Yep. Out for the year.
Yeah, it's going to be on injured reserve. So I don't know if they're actually going to keep him on that or if they're going to cut him, injury settlement. We'll have to look into that further. Once he went out, Martinez came in. They were saying that he wasn't planned on playing, and it showed because it wasn't good. Starting as a rookie quarterback, undrafted, he tried his best, and we'll see what happens to him in the future here.
Right.
Yeah, and then let's talk about this defense. Especially
let's talk about let's just cut to the chase. You want to talk about one dude that you've been gushing over. Just get to it already.
You made the team. I'm excited. Specifically, Stephen Gilmore.
Specifically.
Yeah. Yep, that's what I said. He had 5 tackles, 1 interception for a touchdown, and watching that a few times, that play, people were saying it might have been a pass interference, but it didn't to me. It looked like
of course not.
Real pass or interception.
Look, he's been this last couple of games. He's been looking good, playing good. I mean, I don't know how much it helps that his brother is who he is, but I think he's proven to me that he can at least cover and make up for mistakes, and that's enough. And I think, as we'll talk about the roster cuts in a little bit, it's very evident that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell see exactly what we were kind of seeing.
Yep, and if he keeps at it, like he could turn into another Jerry Jacobs situation where he could be a starter, maybe in the future here. Not this year, but second year. I mean, who knows? He was the highest graded PFF on the defense during that game. So yeah, I mean, I'm ecstatic. I might get a jersey. Who knows?
No, you won't. I know you. You're cheap. You're not going to get a jersey.
Or maybe for Christmas.
I'm not getting you a jersey. Nobody's getting you a jersey. You already got one, and you're finally wearing it.
Well, darn it. But yeah, that's it for the game. Also we had another interception by Chase Lucas in the end zone there. Looked pretty good.
Did you get your McDonald's Big Macs or whatever?
No, I downloaded the app. I had it on my phone, and I didn't do it.
Yep, I had it too. I had it ready to go. I just never went to go pick up anything.
Maybe when they play the Chiefs and they get intercept
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. Yep, I'll get one then. That's it for the game. Let's jump into topic number 2, news. Big one here. Looks like Mosley is off the PUP and is on the active roster. That means he can, if they wanted to, he could play the first game. To me, I don't think that'll happen. I could see maybe the second or third game. It'll just get him out there practicing with the team, getting reps, getting them comfortable. But yeah, that's a big big piece to that defense, I think.
Oh yeah, I dug him last year, so I'm excited to see him back.
And I don't know if he's gonna replace Jacobs or if Jacobs gonna still be the starter once he gets healthy. But I think that'll be a good duo right there, switching back and forth between those two.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's talk about the kicking situation. We had Riley Patterson miss a extra or field goal attempt uh, from like
Doinked
50
right off the
yards.
front of the goal, right off the front of the goalpost. Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't think he has that kind of power in his legs. So. But he
I
also
can't keep
missed an
dealing with
extra.
these kicking woes.
Yeah, yeah. But on top of that, he also missed a extra field goal point. I don't know what happened there. It looked like he missed far. Was it far right? It wasn't good.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking at the news and everything, it sounds like the Lions are looking into a kicker. I was doing a little research. It sounds like, or it looks like there's maybe 3 or 4 veteran kickers out there we could maybe look into getting.
Can they trade for Jake Moody?
No, nope. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. I think it might happen soon.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't think they're gonna wait too long on that one.
Yeah.
And then yeah, get that app, get those Big Macs. Don't forget about that. All right. And well, let's just move on to the final topic, which is cuts. Final cuts. 53-man roster is here. I'm gonna do like surprise cuts, made the team, I'm excited for, who's Adam excited for, and some other notable cuts. We'll talk about those too. So for me, surprise cut would be Dylan Drummond. Like I thought he really had a chance to make this team. From what I saw, from what I heard, he's a great route runner. Really gets separation, cuts pretty good. But from what I was seeing, like he doesn't have a lot of yards after catch, so that probably hurt him a little. So I wonder if that played a part in him getting cut. Hopefully he can make the waiver and get signed to the practice team, because I think that would be a good addition.
Yeah, it'll be a bit before all that news starts to trickle in. So.
Oh yeah, I think they got a day.
Yeah, a day or so.
Yeah, another one, which I'm surprised. Apparently, we only have 2 running backs right now. But yeah, Craig Reynolds got cut, so I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if they're just waiting to see if he can get through the
clear
waiver
waivers.
wire. Yep, and then re-sign him, or if they're gonna look at someone else. But with the history we have with running backs, I don't think they're safe with just 2 running backs.
Maybe they're trying to trade for Jonathan Taylor.
I highly doubt that.
I highly doubt it too.
But yeah, they got a couple people still on the market, like Kareem Hunt. He's still out there. I don't think they're gonna sign him, but that's a name.
Yeah, it's a question of how much do you like. They already paid money for, Montgomery to be here. You got the rookie deal with your first round pick, Jahmyr Gibbs. Do you really pay a third running back? I just don't think they do that. I'm thinking the idea is to let Craig Reynolds make it through waivers, get him back on the practice squad, and have him be a call-up guy. Because I am a little shocked that Cabinda's still finding a way onto this roster, but it's got to be the special teams aspect keeping him in play.
Yeah, and they got Leonard Fournette. He's still available. Mark Ingram. Giovanni Bernard. I think he might have retired. But there's some names out there. Kenyon Drake still available.
Yeah.
Melvin Gordon just became available.
Hot off the XFL, baby.
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't it Melvin Gordon that was in the XFL? Or was I wrong?
No, Melvin Gordon was with the Ravens. He signed with the Ravens.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else that was in the NFL, then they jumped to the XFL. That's not me.
Yeah.
But did you want me to give my surprise cut?
Yeah. I'm excited to hear this.
Look, I'm, it's probably got to be Chase Lucas, right? 7th round pick from last year.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he was ever going to be a starter, but he made a.
He made an impression on Hard Knocks. He had that chip on his shoulder. Like,
yeah. So did Williams, but he got traded.
But I don't know. That was one I was a little surprised by, I guess. But to me, that also indicates that where the secondary is going, and I feel like that's in a good spot. If he's getting cut, I think our secondary's in a good place. But how in the world is Will Harris still on this team? I don't understand at all. Do you? Do you have an answer for me why he's still on this roster?
I think it's because he's a veteran now, and I think he's decent on special.
A veteran at blowing coverage, more like it.
I think they might like his presence in the locker room. So, I mean, they kept Kabenda too, so, and he's always dropped passes, but he's one of those veterans in the locker room. So, who knows?
I just think it's time to move on. Time to move on from him.
Well, with the way the roster was built this year, we're starting to get a good team, so cuts were, I'm going to say, pretty hard for him this year. So you never know. Maybe next year he'll get cut.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. But I want to say, I don't mean ill will towards these guys. These guys.
No, it's nothing personal. Yeah. It's part of the game.
They're trying to make a living too, so
yeah,
it sucks, but you got to move on. All right. Well, let's jump into who I'm excited for, who made the team. Of course, you can probably guess Adam.
Is it Stephen Gilmore?
Yep. Yeah, it is. Good job. Well, yeah, I think maybe this year. Next year, maybe. I think he's going to just be a great backup cornerback if one of our other one gets hurt. From what I saw in the preseason, he had a lot of pass breakups, interceptions, and the biggest thing was what Campbell always taught was just learn from your mistakes. Don't let it happen again. And I saw that a couple times out of him where you made a little mistake, learned from it, it didn't happen again. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a name to be on the lookout for. See how he does.
For sure. I'm probably right there with you. I think he was the one guy I kind of was happy to see. I mean, another guy that I was anxious about was that Chase Cota. I was digging him, but he was waived with an injury settlement, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll see. But I'm very excited to see Gilmore have made the team. I think not a whole lot of surprising cuts other than the ones we talked about already. So
Yep. Yeah, and then maybe one other notable cut we had was Sterling Thomas was another cornerback. He played a lot of on the preseason. Had a pretty good punt return or kick returns. I think he took a couple for 30 yards plus. So that was, I don't know if he would have been one that maybe could have, if it was my team, I would have jumped him and cut or kept him and cut Will Harris instead. So maybe he'd make the practice squad. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, I mean, I trust Brad Holmes. I trust Dan Campbell. I think they're in a better spot roster wise. The cuts have been getting harder every year, so I think they're in a good spot. And like we said, cuts are bad. Hate to see it, but it's part of the game. So we'll see. And with the waiver stuff too, we'll see some of these guys come back on practice squad deals. So don't be too heartbroken just yet. But yeah.
Yep. And I don't know. Maybe they make a splash signing tomorrow or today. Who knows? But, yeah.
Who knows? Yep. How about the deadline for coming up with the roster cuts was 4:00 today, and we've been sitting around till 6:30. When did it finally drop? Like a little bit ago, right before we started recording. Like, come on, Detroit, what are you doing? Why did it take so long? 2 hours ago, I saw a full Washington Commanders lineup on Facebook, and we didn't get anything from the Lions. I was just baffled.
They probably pulled them, each of them, in their office and told them that's probably what took so long.
They probably had to get the footage for Inside the Den. That's probably why. Got to get all that footage.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I think that's it for the final cuts. We had a bunch more cuts. If you want to look into those, just hop on their website. They'll go through all that stuff. But our week 1 game against the Kansas City Chiefs is on Thursday, September 7th at 8:20. Be on the lookout. We're going to do another podcast before that, talking about what we're excited for, what we want to see, what we expect, stuff like that. Yeah, Adam, you want to close it out for us?
I sure can, Kyle. We hope you enjoyed listening to our episode this week. Be sure to visit the World of Football's website, www.theworldoffootball.com, for news, links, upcoming events, original articles, videos, and more. If you want to get in touch with us, shoot an email over to info@theworldoffootball.com. Put "just lying around" in the subject line. We'll try to get back to you. Or you can connect with us by either liking the World of Football over at Facebook or following the World of Football's X account, formerly known as Twitter. Those links are down in the episode description. Be sure to check out our flagship podcast, which I actually recorded before we hopped on and did this one. So back-to-back podcast for me today. We talked about a lot of stuff. A little bit of Lions, I think. We're waiting for the Lions to make their cuts. New episodes of that show drop every Tuesday. You can find our podcasts in that same podcast feed, both for Just Lying Around and This Week in the World of Football. So check both of those out. Again, all those links down in the description. You can also find our show on YouTube, guys.
Sounds good. All right. That's it for us this week. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm going out. I'm buying some blue Kool-Aid packets, 5 pounds of sugar, because the regular season's here and I'm fired up. So go Lions.
You sound like it. Go Lions.